Hello, beautiful people. I'm here at the Shoreditch Town Hall to visit the rehearsals of 1884, a groundbreaking, immersive theatre experience about the European colonialism. I can't wait to meet the artists. Let's go. So it's 1884. We are in Berlin.
Yes.
Something really important is happening.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
So it was basically a conference that happened. It's like for 104 days specifically, where all these white European people came together and they wanted to basically talk about the formalization of colonialism. So because slavery had been abolished, but they were worried about losing control in Africa, they talked about, okay, so let's create a system for this. So everybody gets to have their piece of the pie, which is like crazy saying, but yeah, everybody gets to have their piece of the pie, and we have like a system for how it works. And it basically led to like the splitting up of Central Africa.
Right.
So at the time, one of the statistics I think is 80% of Africa was colonized at the time. After this long conference, 90% ended up being colonized in the kind of years that followed. The Democratic Republic of Congo was created. Congo was like split apart, and King Leopold was able to like reign all over. So yeah, it was the catalyst for a lot of this.
Good evening, Wilhelm Street. My name is the Right Honorable Tony Robert Baron MP.
And it was actually like a game, a table game, basically.
Yeah, basically
Honestly.
a table game, they had this massive map behind them. They said, no, I want this part. No, you can't have that. I want this part because of this and that. Picking and choosing. Okay, so what's the process if I want it? Yeah, making decisions about like people's lives. And obviously, like, no people from the continent of Africa were invited. It was all white European people. White European men.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And in fact, the format of the show is actually an immersive theatre experience. It's an actual game.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. What happens? What it feels like?
Well, I have to keep something secret.
Yes,
No spoilers. Although the show itself is based or inspired by the conference that happened in 1884, we're not setting it in 1884. It's very much in the modern day in a place that's called Wilhelm Street, and it's this new community that's been created. So we invite people to come in and basically create the community together.
Participants will come to 1884 and they'll sit around a table like this. It'll be 7 or 8 people per table, and essentially you are building up a community and you're building up your home. So we have like furniture, we have doors. Yes, there's ways to create your own furniture, and then we have lots of other activities to help you build like a family group as a group of 7. Yeah.
Build a culture, build a community. You receive a lot of letters with a lot of tasks to complete to develop the culture of your little community here, house to house, but also as an entire neighborhood throughout the playing space.
So it's kind of trying to build this fictional town that the audience create every night.
And the entire way through, you receive lovely prompts and hits, tunes,
Bangers
from our DJ.
DJ Marlowe, Charles Marlowe, it's me.
And now let's get into it. I want to hear those house names and enjoy the sweet sound, those banging house knocks.
Banging, lovely.
Right.
What are the sort of feelings and emotions that are actually part of the show and that will be part of the experience of the audience?
It really kind of puts you into this space where you have to think about maybe what it feels like to not have control over something that you love and have been created and like are a part of being somehow taken away from you.
I mean, the kinds of feelings you can expect, there's a good range, huh? Like, I think you can expect to have a lot of excitement. I think there's a childlike joy that comes with developing the house and interacting with all the different little objects. There is surprise, there is joy and entertainment. There's also rage, rage, concern, frustration.
Like the stakes raised as if it was your own family. Like things matter more than you realize, and I think that's where all the emotions come from. You spend time building and creating and bonding, and then suddenly you're like, that's important, you know, what we have, the ownership we have, and not wanting that to be taken away.
I actually remember when we had like our first day and we just talked through the actual conference in 1884. Afterwards, I just felt so like, Emotional.
What was there anything in particular that you thought you learned just during the process about all of this?
Like, one of the things I found really interesting was that Berlin remembers so much about its history when it comes to things like the Holocaust, and does a really great job of making sure that that kind of information is like accessible, and rightfully so. But something like that 1884 conference, there's nothing about it.
Yeah.
So much of the decisions, I think, that were of things towards colonialism that were done by Germany and other countries just aren't necessarily remembered.